Yeah, hi, welcome back to the key points from the book Simplifying Mining Maintenance. Last week I spoke about the maintenance improvement model. This week I want to talk about the first step, which is really reducing excessive unscheduled downtime. So the first place that we always start when we go in to work with a new business or look at a new fleet is to have a look at the time usage model. So when we look at the time usage model, we have the amount of hours that the equipment was producing. Then we have the scheduled and unscheduled process downtime, and then the scheduled and unscheduled maintenance downtime. Standby time is in there as well, but we structure it that way so that the scheduled and unscheduled maintenance time, when you look at that, you can see the availability of that particular plant or that particular equipment. So we always start there, and obviously we're looking to see the maximised production time, how much of this unscheduled and scheduled process downtime there are, and what's the availability of the equipment. So once we have that clarity, we then look at what is the ratio between scheduled and unscheduled maintenance downtime. So over the years we've worked out that the benchmark for mobile fleet is a 60-40 split. So that's 60% scheduled downtime and 40% unscheduled downtime at an availability of 90%. So that's important. If you have an availability of less than 90% and you have a 50-50 split, which sometimes you see, that tells us that you've got too much unscheduled downtime and too much scheduled downtime generally. So it's really interesting to have a look at this metric. We've looked at it over many fleets over many years. For fixed plant, it's a little bit different. It's an 80-20, so 80% scheduled downtime and 20% unscheduled downtime to know whether you're doing good. And those two metrics, I would call those basically the 95th percentile. If you're achieving those metrics, you're in that 95th percentile, to give it some sort of context. But yeah, so just remember that it's a 60-40 split at 90% availability. So once we've worked out, okay, that if there is excessive unscheduled downtime, the next thing I always look at is just where or what is the duration of the unscheduled events. And the reason we look at this is to identify whether the opportunity is only to reduce the large, high downtime events, which are often very difficult to reduce or eliminate, and they don't happen very often. But people know all about them, so when you go into a site, often they'll be saying, oh, we've just got to get rid of that particular warranty issue on the machine. We've had those couple of failures and we know what they're about, we've got to fix them up. But what's forgotten are these short duration events, and lots of them. So it's important to understand this and look for where the opportunity is. Generally speaking, to achieve that 60-40 split in scheduled versus unscheduled, it's often a requirement to reduce 50% of the unscheduled downtime. And I always like to look at where that point is. On this particular site, it was any failure that was less than 8.5 hours in duration would eliminate 50% of the downtime. And that's the stuff that's easy to eliminate. It's normally, on mobile fleet, it's normally hoses, electrical issues, things like that, which can be quite easily eliminated. So that's where we always start, identifying whether you've got a problem with excessive unscheduled downtime, and then where to look. Obviously, we then do Pareto charts and identify where the particular fleet and issues are, but I know that everyone's already all over that sort of stuff. It's been done very well in the industry. But this gives a good guide in terms of where to start. I hope you got something out of that, and I look forward to talking to you next week, where I'm going to talk about how to identify excessive scheduled downtime and how to reduce that or control that.